a problem we cannot even control. We have a dog that we can't even put a leash around. And yeah, these Sunni countries are so cucked. It's disappointing. It's honestly the worst thing ever, because I'm a Sunni and I wish I could say that my people are the ones fighting for freedom, fighting the bad guy, but it's not the case. And of course, they're to some degree controlled by Israel, the UAE being the main culprit. No matter how much you hate Iran and their government, if they're toppled, that region is cooked, and America loses its the very essence of its power structure where we propped up to be today.
Can you see me?
I can see you, bro. What's popping?
Assalamu alaikum. Great to hear from you, Riyadh.
Alaikum salam, bro. What's going on? How's everything?
Alhamdulillah. Just finished watching that Trump speech. I'm sure you watched it too. Are you feeling okay? You're a little sick?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Let's run it. I was just ending. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty congested, but I was ending because I kind of covered everything and went over everything. I didn't want to drag it on, but I'm happy that you wanted to talk about it. I was going to text you, but I didn't know if you had anything planned, so I didn't want to interrupt your segment.
Yeah. I was just covering everything today, IRL. So I want to hear, I know you probably already yapped to your audience, but your takeaways. Okay, I'll just say my takeaways quickly. So one, the Iranian diaspora, they love getting humiliated. Maybe they have a fetish for it because he says he's going to send them back to the Stone Age. 1. 2, Trump said that we don't need to be in this war, so we should go home. 3, it seems like a ground troop invasion is imminent, although he didn't announce it. It seems like he was just kind of playing with everybody. And 4th, oil prices are surging right now. That's a disaster. So this is bad. It was a nothing burger speech. He didn't say anything new. Did you notice? I'm sure you saw he said it was 45,000 protesters instead of 30. It's like the
instead of 30.
45,000.
I dropped the volume. And
you know, so crazy. I think what was it? I was on X and I agreed with them. I was like, bro, they just keep increasing this. Now I know SNEAKO, he made an off the wall comment saying like, damn, this 30,000, 40,000 protesters is like the new 6 million. I was like, okay, now maybe the whole 6 million part is a bit, I ain't going there. But yeah, the fabrication of these numbers, the complete switching of it, like, oh, it's 30, 45, 100,000. All right, do you have any names or anything? You have any names, proof, like death certificates? Oh, nothing? Then why are you saying this? And that's the problem. Like, oh, there's names, but it's only about like 3,100 names, so it's not going to fit your whole 30,000, this 30,000 deaths you're trying to push out here. But trust me, there are thousands that died, about 3,000, and that's sad enough. But for some reason, we're trying to inflate it to like 30, 40,000, even though, like, bro, we don't got no proof at all that has happened. But people are like, oh, well, what are you going to believe? The Iranians? I mean, well, they are the ones that got to pick up the bodies. I mean, are you out there going to pick up those bodies? No, you're not. Okay, then. Are you counting them? No, you're not. Okay, then. So we got to go with the people who are picking up and counting the bodies. Sorry if it happens to be Iranians.
I mentioned that to my audience. Yeah, they're changing the number every other day.
Yeah, so
it reminds you of something, ever-changing numbers. But yeah, what I was saying, and the biggest thing that I echoed, what's really concerning to me, and why every American should be concerned, because we see this pattern or this trend, people exacerbate an issue, and so they do this warmongering, fear-mongering, this is the biggest deal in the world and whatever, and that's usually not the case. They kind of did that with Ukraine and stuff, but this is a different issue, and I'll tell you why. There's really no exit for the United States at this point, or off-ramp, that guarantees we'll be the winner or we'll have some sort of benefit here. The reason why is because if Trump pulls out, now we just lost. And people say this war is asymmetrical. I think that's an understatement. I think we're just flat out losing. Iran has been able to deal a ton of damage to these Gulf countries, really not suffer much consequence for it besides what they already knew was coming, which was the first strike from the United States. That was preemptive, thanks to Marco Rubio admitting it a few weeks ago. So now if we come out of this war, first of all, the Strait of Hormuz is not secured. For the United States to go in and secure and reopen that strait, it's a lot more difficult than it is for Iran to just disrupt it. I
don't know about us losing. Like I said, they're playing the asymmetrical warfare game very well. I mean, we're all impressed here. But to win against us, no. But no, it actually a win against us would be the Iran assuring their survival of the regime and still having control of the Strait of Hormuz. So they would have to get us to back off. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. I don't see Trump letting go of this anytime soon.
Homeland, that's their passageway. They're familiar with that territory. So for them, all they've got to do is just keep their drones at bay, which are very cheap, very easy to make, their missiles at bay, and threaten the Marines that, by the way, have not even gotten close with that missile capability. It's going to be a long...
Do me a favor and double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Got any questions, comments, jokes, or disagreements? You go ahead and super chat it in. But let's make sure we're liking the video by smashing that like button or double tapping that screen.
Long-winded conflict for us to gain control of that strait. If we pull out without seizing control or winning that straight back over, the entire world will be upset with us, because who pays for that oil not being accessible to them readily, at least? Asia and Europe, more so than the United States. At least if we feel the effect, it'll be long-term or long-winded. So if we pull out, we look like an idiot. We just scapegoated NATO. We told NATO, you're not going to help us in Iran. You're not going to die for Israel like us. Well, then whatever. We're not going to be allied with you. You can suffer from the oil shortage. Now, who's to say that Russia and China isn't on the doorstep of these countries saying, look at the United States. Are they a good ally for you? They don't even want to run NATO anymore. You might as well have some sort of security access with us. So the pivotal region that we had control in, being these Gulf countries, is now gone. It's tarnished. The affluent, or the influence rather, that we had in these Gulf countries is gone, because what was the stipulation that Iran had highlighted in regards to a ceasefire is that the United States has to remove military presence from these Gulf countries. That's how we have hegemony in that region in the first place. So our bases exist to protect them in that region, but they've been the subject or really warranting attack on them. Now we have to pull them out for a ceasefire to be there. There's no way to stop this conflict without the United States looking stupid. So I was saying, Trump might as well just go ahead and try to effectuate regime change, but then thousands of soldiers are going to die. It's going to take forever. Who knows if we'll even actually be able to make it happen inside of the year. It might stretch to midterms. The IRGC promised that. Top to bottom, this is a disaster. And the Strait of Hormuz, last thing I'll say, the Strait of Hormuz has been the biggest vantage point of leverage for the Iranian regime. Obviously, they can't match military capability to that of the United States. We all know that. So what have they been doing? They weaponized that strait very effectively. They're able to affect global oil prices, and now it's become lucrative for them. They can charge these ships for passing through, and the United States had to release sanctions on Russia and Iran, two of our biggest adversaries, in order to remedy that oil pressure. And Donald Trump has been panicking. If you see every time on Truth Social, when it creeps up to 120, he's saying, don't worry, we're coming back. We're going to take this to straight. We're going to fix it.
He said, me and the Ayatollah, me and the Ayatollah.
No, it's crazy, actually. The accent, though. I mean, or the impersonation. But, SNEAKO been famous for a minute. Actually, it was funny because I didn't even know about SNEAKO, honestly, until he started streaming and all this good stuff. But nah, apparently he'd been around for a minute. Like, he had a million subscriber channel, but he used to just make, like, he wasn't streaming. He'd actually make YouTube videos, and that was it. And he got pretty big off that. And as he was doing those little podcasts in the street as well, like, he also got pretty big off doing those. So he had like his own little personal YouTube channel that he started when he was a kid. I heard that popped off, got him 1 million, and then he switched over to streaming. And then, down the line, he ended up getting himself banned, and then now he's back on. So shout out SNEAKO, trials and tribulations, right?
Back, we're gonna take this to straight. We're gonna fix it.
He said, me and the Ayatollah are gonna control it. In this speech, he said it's gonna naturally reopen. It's so funny that that's one of the main objectives of this war now, which are exactly just returning to what it was before the war started, before epic failure. How embarrassing!
Oh man, the manosphere. That's how SNEAKO came up. SNEAKO came up off the manosphere. Well, I mean, shout out.
And there's no real way to just, he keeps bragging, saying that the Navy and the Air Force and their missile capabilities are destroyed. But then why is the Strait of Hormuz still closed? And I think I'm completely vindicated. I don't know what your position was, but during the Venezuela regime change, when they kidnapped Maduro, I said the only reason they're doing this is because Netanyahu wants America to go attack Iran, and they know that their major chess move is closing the Strait of Hormuz to Epstein regime. I was right. I think a lot of people haven't corrected themselves about that, but look at him even bragging about it in the speech. He's saying he's going to get crude oil from Venezuela, and this is the way that they could supplement that loss from the Strait. Time for people to admit they were wrong about screaming for Venezuela regime change.
The oil's not even the same, right? The oil that comes from the Gulf is a lot more valuable.
It's terrible for Venezuela.
But even then, we destroy their Navy, we destroy their Air Force. That's a non sequitur. That doesn't really matter or relate to the topic, because Iran's #1 threat, and what Netanyahu had echoed prior to the 12-day war and after, is that their ballistic missile program poses the biggest threat to us, as well as the nuclear asset.
That's a really good point. No, that's a really good point, though, because like I said, they brag about grinding down their Navy and all this good stuff. But remember, their Navy was never the existential threat or the imminent threat that we were so, worried about. It was their nuclear capabilities. So, and their ballistic missile program. And we've done, not that much damage according to U.S. intelligence. I mean, if you listen to Trump, he's going to have you believing that, all right, we took out 90% of it. Well, why are they still firing so many missiles? But according to U.S. intelligence, we've only took out about 1/3, so about 33%. And maybe you could say 66% or 2/3 because of, there's about what, another 33% of them that are either damaged or buried. So, I mean, it depends how you want to take it.
Thing that we have to remove before we can say that we're good with Iran. If they still have their missiles, they still have their drones, and they still have their nuclear enrichment program, which they still have to some degree, despite us putting a dent in it in June, and it doesn't matter. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Their Navy never posed a threat. Their Air Force was never an issue. So these are all kind of like non-assets. And Pete Hegseth takes to the Pentagon and he says, well, we destroyed their Navy and their Air Force. Hey, dumbass, that never mattered. We have to get rid of the missiles. We have to get rid of the nuclear enrichment if we want to fulfill our supposed goals. And Iran could have made a nuke. I don't know if a lot of people know this. They were hedging. Iran had the ability to make a nuke, but they never did. The whole point, I kind of gave like an analogy. Imagine you have all the parts for a gun right in front of you, and you can assemble it at any time, but you choose not to display, hey, don't take me out of power. Hey, don't approach on my borders. Hey, don't try to ruin my sovereignty because I can make this gun. So that's kind of like the whole idea of hedging a nuclear bomb is to guarantee you're not removed from power, to guarantee you're not subject to regime change. They could have made a nuke a long time ago. However, Operation Midnight Hammer probably set that back a good deal. And then Trump, by the way, he contradicted himself. Operation Midnight Hammer in June, he said, we obliterated it, and they're not going to be able to make another nuke for 6 years. He was saying so much time that we took off of their nuclear program. Now, just in his address to the nation, he said a couple months they're away from making a nuke. So it's like anybody who trusts this administration at this point is a dumbass. They can't be helped. Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth, Donald Trump, they're all just intertwining, contradicting themselves. I've never seen an administration. I'm only 24. I know. I've never seen an administration embarrass themselves like this one. This is a shit show. And every day they just make it worse.
They keep
every day they just make it worse. Marco,
I don't know how people are still Trump supporters. I don't know if you have any in your chat, but I still have people that are like MAGA till death. And they, you know, if they're going to fall for Trump after this disaster, they're going to fall head over heels for the Antichrist. These people are idiots. And the reason I think the ground ship invasion is imminent, he doesn't care about the lives being lost of Americans. Look at the way he's speaking now about not opening up a presidential library museum. He says he just wants to open up Trump hotels. Look at the way he's trying to shill himself to get the Nobel Peace Prize. All he cares about is legacy. All he cares about is his own reputation. It doesn't matter how many people die. It doesn't matter how much he tanks the economy, how much money it takes. As long as he gets his Nobel Peace Prize and people glaze him, even before the speech, he says, I'm going to do this speech and talk about how great I am. That's all he cares about. So if this is his number one priority, of course, you're going to say.
I mean, I somewhat agree with that. The problem with Trump is that he's too easy to flatter. If you flatter Trump enough, it's like it seems like you just have him eating out the palm of your hands. And that's all these guys do is glaze him, tell him he's never wrong, tell him how he's basically saying he's the chosen one. And that's all they do. And I mean, if you put a guy like that around nothing but glazers and pretty much telling you you're just this, bro, you're what they call this, Cyrus the Great. They try to compare him to Cyrus the Great and all this crazy stuff. Then, I mean, yeah, you're going to create a president that's unaccountable, that honestly don't feel like he's ever doing anything wrong because the people around him, all they say is how he's doing so much right.
Thousands of Marines to die.
I said it's totally facts. And I had said Donald Trump is probably one of the biggest traitors to the United States in recent history because of the fact that every president prior to him avoided bombing Iran. By the way, Israel has been begging us for years to bomb Iran, and we never did it. Obama stepped away. He actually introduced the Iranian nuclear deal to guarantee peace in the region. Prior to that, Joe Biden didn't want to do it. George Bush didn't want to do it. Trump was the guy to finally push the button and bring us to war in Iran. So he's not only the biggest traitor in that aspect, but the fact that he campaigned on certain promises and then completely tarnished them just to have this power. And yeah, that's true. If you read about Trump, if you look at his early life or his history, you'll see he's just a power-obsessed guy who wants to be the best at everything, wants to be a winner. Look, he can't run again, so he doesn't care at this point. It's a sinking ship. The Trump administration's done. Joe Kent hopped off the boat. Everybody's trying to save face. J.D. Vance is trying to look like the peace guy. Everybody's already seeing his move, as well as the fact to put the cherry on top. He's probably going to lose in midterms. I mean, Trump is just top to bottom. He's fucked. So I think at this point, he's thinking, let me just serve the interests of my donors. Let me just serve the interests of Israel and finish this conflict. But he's realizing this conflict is not a 4 or 5 day process like they previously claimed. It's already 30 days, and we have not reached any sort of step in getting to our goals, which is regime change, nuclear program, missiles. All three still exist full-fledged. So he's a traitor. And I wanted Trump. I'll be honest. I wanted Trump to win in 2024. I didn't vote for him because of the Gaza situation, but I probably would have, honestly. But I wanted Trump to win. I liked Trump back in 2016 and 17. Me and my brother loved him. but he's betrayed the United States. He's betrayed every single person who voted for him and everything. I thought he was based. He didn't have that element of political correctness. It was kind of like a relief, and it was nice to hear a president just say what was on his mind: American power, America first. And he turned back on everything.
But it's funny how the right wing, the base right wing, who they were anti-woke, now they're embodying everything that the woke left used to embody. So
literally, bro, literally crying about, bro, MAGA has become, it kills me, but like since this whole war, bro, MAGA's become real sensitive. They became crybabies. I mean, bro, Drewski did a skit about Erica Kirk, and they're over going, this is disgusting. He should take this down. Erica Kirk should sue him. It's like, are you serious, guys? This is the same behavior we clowned the left for doing, being such crybabies and snowflakes. And I was low-key embarrassed that I seen so many MAGA guys crash out over just crying about it. She's a dead widow. I mean, bro, trust me, we've done worse. I mean, my man dropped the video about the Obamas being monkeys and y'all guys play it off. But Drewski does a skit about Erica Kirk and y'all lose y'all shit. I mean, bro, get over yourselves.
They said that the left wing, they just try to cancel you. They follow identity politics. And now if you criticize Israel, they call you an anti-Semite. Trump is threatening and saying that Erica Kirk should sue Drewski for that skit, which Elon Musk is saying, make comedy legal. So he makes a skit and you're threatening suing over a skit. This is the same president who posts on Truth Social laughing and humiliating people who died because they were against him and they opposed him. The same president who posts AI videos of black people as monkeys. Now he's going to be on a moral high ground about a Drewski skit.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, bro, look, man, if you ain't going to sit there and apologize for that video, and look, it was funny. I laughed even with the Obamas being monkeys. But if I'm going to laugh to that, then who am I to get offended over Drewski's funny ass skit about Erica Kirk? I'm sorry, but it was funny. It was funny as hell. Just like that video that Trump released was funny as hell. Okay. Sorry, but I got a bit of dark humor, I guess. Maybe. Or maybe I just think everything's funny sometimes. Most of the time. Could I say I'm a happy guy?
The same one who's posting AI videos where he's a golden statue on the Gaza Strip. The right wing has become the left wing, and they embody all that same cancel culture where they shut you up if you're an anti-Semite. And looking back, I was a major Trump supporter in 2015, 16. After I was originally a Bernie bro, and then the DNC rigged it against him. And looking back now, it's a shame. We feel like we were completely lied to and betrayed.
Well, the right wingers are idiots, bro. I completely agree with you. The people who still support Trump, it's insufferable to be around them. They don't even deserve the presence of somebody who has IQ. To still support Trump is unbelievable. And yeah, you're right. He did post that Obama thing. I was going to say that, and now he's complaining. And then this is what they do, right? If you want to dish it, you got to be able to take it. But all the Trump supporters at this point are either they have MAGA money in their pockets or something of that regard, because this war is highly unpopular.
And I'm so happy. You know what? I'm okay, kind of happy I didn't like blow up too big to the point where my whole income depended off how much my MAGA crowd liked me. Like, bro, I'm so lucky that didn't happen to me, because I see a lot of guys caught up in that trap right now. Like, I can see that they want to disagree with this war, but they can't because they already know MAGA is going to turn against them, call them un-American, and there goes all of their income. And, that's why I've always focused on creating a stream or creating a platform where both sides can come together. Both sides come and have that debate, because I never wanted it to be completely MAGA. I never wanted it to be completely liberal or TDS'd out. I wanted to have a fair balance on both sides. I wanted the radical left and the radical right to come on my platform, be able to have a voice. Moderates from the left and the right. So I'm kind of happy that I didn't go towards that. I'm extremely happy. And if that's the reason that I'm losing subscribers on that note, then I'm okay with that. If it's the MAGA guys leaving because I'm not pro-war, then it is what it is. I mean, I'll see y'all later. But yeah, you'll be back though. You'll be back.
This war is highly unfavorable, but you'd be surprised, bro. I'm still surrounded around a lot of normies day to day. I still work my regular job, and a lot of people still think that this war is like beneficial for the United States. A lot of people still echo that like this is a good thing. But
they're saying it's not, which is so funny, because like Rubio says that Iran did not pose an imminent threat on American soil. Trump in the speech says we don't even need to be there. Again, looking back at how we used to be Trump supporters. In a speech before today's Nothing Burger, he's saying, without me, Israel wouldn't exist. And I'm like, oh, my God, really? Oh, my God. We should have. And he says, I even love the evangelicals. We love Israel more than the Jews. Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, look, he really told on himself. And the JCPOA, him tarnishing that in 2018 was like the first, like it was the first kind of like, what are you doing? It was very sus. And so from there to now was the domino effect. But yeah, I mean, he sold people out. I was telling the story on stream the other day. I was in like the kitchen, like the cafeteria at my job, whatever, Matrix. I was being a good wagey, and I was making coffee, and I overheard these two guys in another department. They were talking about the war and stuff, and they were like, dude, Trump is like the best. Dude, Trump like literally is the first president to like knock out these Iranian extremists. Like, I've been waiting for this my entire life. And obviously I didn't say anything. I just left the kitchen, but I was just perplexed. Like, there's still a lot of people who echo support for this war. And it's kind of the normies who maybe are not on alternate news or the alternate side of media where me and you are. But that's why, like,
I'm looking up Casey in the background right now, actually. Oh God, don't forget to double tap that screen and like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, man. You know, we run these. I try to run them every night.
You know, voices like yours, mine, or I mean, I don't really have much of a voice, but voices like yours, Nick, Myron, everybody else, it's so important, bro. You know, so
yeah,
it's kind of like you guys are leading, you're paving the way. Although I know you guys had your differences.
Cooked, bro. I mean, we could say what we're gonna say, but think about this. Trump was posting on Truth Social, I think several days ago, and he said, "Look at Mark Levin's show." And Levin's show, he's just saying how important it is for ground troops to go. They're pushing for this.
I just played that on stream,
bro.
I just played that on stream. He said they got to get in there and get the enrichment, the enriched uranium.
Yeah,
he said that. So yeah, they tell.
Yeah, Mark Levin was literally calling for boots on the ground. Here's the thing, though. I've been called it before Mark Levin called it. I said, look, if the goal is to secure the enriched uranium, you can't do that from the air. You're gonna have to put boots on the ground. I had people giving me pushback, and I was just like, all right, please tell me, like, what are you gonna do? Like hook a crane next to a jet and try to go down and pick it up like it's a fucking arcade game? Like, please tell me how that was gonna work. No, you gotta put boots on the ground, you gotta secure the area, you gotta get the hazmat suits, you gotta pull it out yourself. It's a lot of work. It's better if we just, you know, get them back under the JCPOA and make somebody else do it.
On themselves, bro. They tell on themselves, but this is what Donald Trump does. He shows face, you know, and people buy that shit. They eat it up. They gobble it up. Pause. He goes on Truth Social. He says, we're winning. He says that Iran is talking to us. They're conceding. They're begging for mercy. And then the IRGC tells Axios, we're not talking to anybody. Or then he comes on live, interrupts TV broadcast with this dumbass address. He seemed really tired and off. And he says, you know, we're pretty much at the end of everything. We destroyed everything they have. Takes a little bit of a jab at NATO, I believe. And then he says this will only last another couple of weeks. This will last a long time. There's no exit ramp anymore. And if we exit in the next few weeks, we definitely lost. And these next few weeks will probably encompass boots on ground. Maybe this weekend, I don't know. But it's he's showing face. You know, he's trying to cover for himself, but it's to no avail. He'll lose in the midterms. His approval ratings shit. And people will really start to feel it when gas is like $100 a gallon. Dude, gas is 90 for me the other day, full tank.
What car do you drive?
I drive a, I don't know if I want to dox myself. I drive a Q60, an Infinity Q60.
I don't know if that's doxing, but
no, I don't think it's doxing. I don't know. Yeah, that was
nice, but I ain't gonna lie though. Yeah, I mean your gas really expensive, man. My man paying that $5 basically.
That was an autistic moment. Yeah, an Infinity Q60, but it takes premium.
Yeah.
So you get what I'm saying? Like it went from 60 or 70 to 90. It's AB. Yeah.
Okay.
So. No, but yeah, bro, gas is going up. Everybody's complaining. And then Trump said the other day, oh, well, if you're complaining about gas, get over it. It'll go down eventually. And like he echoes no sentiment for the American people. Like he literally doesn't give a shit about us. Like, and it's so obvious. And JD Vance is like low-key trying to branch off. Nick really did a great job pointing this out. Something that nobody had mentioned. JD Vance is like slipping under the rug and like trying to make it seem like he's going to save the day.
Yeah, they're positioning JD Vance. I mean, look, his campaign's cooked. They want to make it seem like he's the hero against this war. People aren't buying it. I don't think anybody.
I think people are gonna. I'm nervous. People are gonna buy that shit, bro. I'm nervous.
There's no chance.
Him and Rubio, I'm really nervous, bro. I think he's gonna play face. You underestimate how stupid Americans are, bro. And I say that I'm proud American, but Americans are really dumb, bro. How many Americans are supporting this war? Way too many. Way too many people are echoing positivity for this war, saying it's a great idea, saying Trump is the best to do it. All you need is JD Vance to say, I stopped the conflict. We destroyed their assets. People are gonna buy it.
I saw he just released a book about his conversion to Catholicism, and on the front of the cover of his book, it's not a Catholic church, it's a Methodist church. So you're right. A lot of people could fall for it, especially when they love that Erica Kirk mega church. You know, what's the spiritual leader, Paula White, whatever, doing these weird prayers and making people have.
J.D. Vance trying to play fake Catholic, and the reason why I say that is because he's trying to play into this whole Christian nationalist movement. And what's the biggest group of Christians? Catholics. So he's trying to play into the biggest group of Christians in America, which are Catholics, which I believe they're like 80 million strong. Yeah, 80 million strong. Shout out to the Catholics.
Exorcisms and breathing into the microphone. You're right. As long as the boomer voting class is a LARPer, bro. Yeah,
he's a LARPer.
15 million for Peter Thiel. He was a never Trumper. He did 2 years in the Senate. Now he's the VP. And now, you know, he's getting 15 million for Peter Thiel. But we got to remember that this guy is not a hero in this. He's just as complicit and guilty in this terrible war as Hegseth, as Rubio, and as Trump himself.
Yeah. Did you see the cabinet meeting? He seemed like he didn't want to be in it. Like he had a segment for like 10 seconds and he was like, vests. Huh? They started talking about Easter and stuff like, yeah, let's all say a prayer for Easter. They put him strategically on the other side of the table in that cabinet meeting to have Rubio, Hegseth, Trump here. And he's like, oh, I'm on the other side. I'm going to talk about fraud. And then he has this new, he's now bringing Nick Shirley on to be part of the fraud team. And they're going about Minnesota saying they're going to eradicate Sharia law. You're right. I mean, a lot of these people are really, really stupid and they could fall for it. They're going to yell about Minnesota fraud and ignore Lakewood, New Jersey. Which look at how people
Lakewood, New Jersey with Tyler Oliveira, bro. You know what? I'm almost afraid to react to that because I probably don't want to be further shadow banned into the shadow realm, into the realm of darkness. Like, but look, I mean, I don't know, I'm gonna have to risk it. But bro, that video was crazy because it literally showed Jewish people doing the exact same thing we was getting mad at Somalians for doing. And the problem is, like, all right, so we show a bunch of brown people or Muslims doing it. Oh, and everybody's all aboard. We show a bunch of Jews doing it, and now everybody's trying to call Tyler Oliveira anti-Semitic. It was real telling. It was like, oh, so the Jews can do it, and y'all don't say nothing, but let the Muslims do it, and y'all crying y'all eyeballs out. Same thing with them praying in what was it, Times Square. Oh, so when the Muslims pray in Times Square, it's a show of dominance and it's bad. But when the Jews hold a party for the coming of the Antichrist, oh, it's all good, right? Everybody shut the F up. Yeah, I'm sorry, miss me with all that.
Look at how people ate up that Minnesota shit, which I'll admit is a problem because they take advantage of the government there and everything. But look how people ate that up in comparison to Tyler Oliveira's expose. Yeah. Like that shit that covered no ground. You know what I mean? And they got banned from Patreon, bro. Who bans people from Patreon? So it's like, if there's no noticing of that, again, and we're in a different time now where people are hyper aware, at least the young people in our age range. But bro, there's still a good amount of populace.
No, that's crazy. And shout out to my man Luke. He says, I'm just hearing claims with no substance. Oh, don't wait, what you hearing, Luke? Like, what claims with no substance? Well, I don't know. Some of the claims on people personally, yeah. But their analysis on the war, I mean, I have some disagreements, but I agree with them a little, mostly. Shout out to my man Noah Joyner. He said, did you know that JD went on a podcast and said he thinks UFOs are being demons? No, it doesn't. Or UFOs are pretty much demons and all that, or beings that are controlled by demons, or however you were trying to phrase that. I've heard that before. Like, what was it? I was watching this one documentary about, them revealing that aliens exist and all this good stuff. And one of the reasons why aliens coming out took so long is because a lot of people had a very religious, their beliefs came from a very strong religious backing. So they would see these aliens and they would tell people, oh, don't cover this up. These are demons. These are demons. We shouldn't be messing with this. We need to hide this. These are demons. So yeah, other people would be saying, oh, these are aliens. Let's investigate a little more. And there's people also up in high positions are like, no, these are demons. This is demonic. We need to stay away from it. Like JD Vance might be one of those guys. That
they just don't get it and they never will. And that's where a lot of my frustration goes from. Because I check my comments and stuff, bro. And people are like disagreeing with me. And I'm like, bro, I think this is the clearest, easiest side to choose. Like it's never been clearer or easier in history to be on the right side of things. It's in front of you.
At the very least, no analysis. Iranian diaspora who are celebrating and so happy. Crazy. Like Kason, I think about that every day. On February 28th, when the Ayatollah was.
No, it's crazy. Like they say they care for the Iranian people, but like, you know, the Iranian people are getting bombed. Trump is literally threatening to cut off the water and power to the Iranian people, not just the IRGC, but the Iranian people who both oppose and support the government. So I'm sorry, but like these Iranian diaspora people that was doing the Trump dance while their people were getting bombed, I mean, yeah, they're disgusting people to me. I mean, I cannot have respect for people like that. Even if you disagree with those Iranians who support the government, you shouldn't be okay with them getting bombed. There was even one girl who said, "Oh, well, those little girls in that school, it's a necessary sacrifice." I was like, "Bro, they lost their damn minds." You tell me a bunch of little girls in a school that shares your ethnicity, that shares your blood, and you're okay with them dying because you want a regime to be changed? Yeah, I mean, that's how sick some of these people are.
Assassinated. He's like, they're all celebrating. Trump gives a speech today and says, we're going to send Iran back to the.
And shout out to my man Noah Joyner coming in against his apologies. JD went on a podcast and said he believed UFOs are demons. Let's see, Avida. No, I know I heard this name. Avida Bito covered it and said he believes they are the better versions of us. Huh. I think that's like an Israeli scientist. I seen him on Joe Rogan. He was on Joe Rogan giving some crazy information. So I know I heard of him before. But yeah, like I said, JD is looking like one of those guys where he believes we shouldn't look into aliens because they might be demons and they're demonic and all this crazy stuff. And then there's other people who think that, oh no, they're just the better versions of us. They've technically advanced. They've got their shit together. They're peaceful and they're just waiting for us to be peaceful. And I'm like, man, look, if that's the case, man, as soon as they hop off the ship, they about to walk their ass right back on it.
The Stone Age. Are you idiots still twerking and celebrating?
Yeah.
Like, how is this freeing Iran?
Like, man, give us a little bit more time, aliens, bro. Don't worry. We'll get our shit together eventually. Just not today. Probably not next month either. Probably not even next year. But eventually, though. Eventually.
Of the burqa. How are the people being freed of their oppressive anti-LGBT laws by sending them back to the Stone Age? At least they should admit they were wrong. But Americans, this is not going to change until the boomer voting class dies out.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And look, I go on about this, and then people say, you're an IRGC sympathizer, aren't you? Sunni, why are you supporting the Shia? And it's like, all right, one, let's not be a goy. But two, like, I won't straddle the line when it comes to Iran. Yeah, sure, the IRGC has done some evil things to Sunnis in Syria. I'm well aware, okay, that lore is old, but there's a greater good here for them to exist. There's a greater good for them to be the last piece of resistance against Israel. After Iran is out, it's Israel's court. Yep. And the United States has no influence in the most pivotal region in the world, that being the Middle East, arguably. And so that's why it's really important that they stay in power, no matter who they are, what their religious sect is. We need them to maintain power. We need them to maintain a military presence or some sort of military rebellion ability, and so that Israel can't approach and encroach their borders on Iran, because southern Lebanon, in my opinion, will probably be annexed, unfortunately. Yeah. Gaza will probably be annexed, in the West Bank. Yep. Because no one in the world, no one in the global community is doing anything. The other day, did you see?
Shoot, bro, nobody in the world even knows this is really happening. Like, bro, if I walk up to your average American and I tell them, you know, we're in a war with Iran, I'll be like, yeah. I know that. All right, well, you know, Israel's is pretty much, you know, killed a whole bunch of Palestinians, is now about to steal their land. Wait, what? Wait, where? Oh, yeah, in Gaza, this little territory inside of Israel. Yeah, they're about to they bombed these people, about to take their land. Damn, that sucks. Oh, you also know that they're kicking the same people, the Palestinians, out of the West Bank that doesn't have this terrorist group that, you know, they're complaining about in Gaza, and they're still kicking them out and taking their land. Really? Yeah, they're doing that, and they're annexing the land and they're taking it for themselves. That's crazy. I know, you know what's even crazier? What else said? These same people are also trying to annex southern Lebanon. It's like, come on, Seth. Really? You're acting like they're just doing everything. What are they? Trying to have dominance over the Middle East? And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what they're doing. They want dominance in their area, and Iran standing in the way of that. And once Iran's out the way, they can achieve the greater Israel dream. And they'll be taking, you know, Lebanon, mostly a good part of Iraq, Syria, and a good part of Saudi Arabia. And then Jesus will come back and all this while, or Jesus to them, or their Messiah, or what the evangelists think is going to be Jesus, but will actually be the Antichrist. Now, that's going a bit too much into the eschatology of it, but You get my point here. I mean, they're doing this for religious reasons.
The CNN reporter get told by the IDF soldier verbatim, yeah, we're here, even though it's illegal according to Israeli and international law, because we're going to remove all these Palestinians and it's going to become our land entirely.
Yep.
They want to do the same thing in Iran. You know, they want to do the same thing everywhere, as well as the fact that if they get, and if they get control of the Strait of Hormuz, that's 20% of the world's global oil supply. Yeah, that's a lot of money for Israel. Remember, Israel's betrayed us so many times.
Yep.
If they get that level of power, what will they do to us?
Bro, that's why
I'm so terrified.
Iran is fighting for all the goyim. Look, I mean, I see a lot of the discourse. I'm sure you've seen it from Muslims are like, oh, Iran attacked Syria. They did this, they did that. Trump just gave credit to the GCC. He said that NATO is not even fighting this war. According to Trump, the GCC are being more good goyim than NATO. They are the allies. It's Israel allied with the GCC, allied with America. And now that Iran is the only regime fighting against Israel, trying to expand and create greater Israel, which was an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory 6 weeks ago, now Netanyahu is essentially admitting it live in a speech. You want me to? I
mean, bro, Bibi Netanyahu been admitted that he wanted to go for greater Israel. He been admitted this in Hebrew multiple times. And then with Mike Huckabee with Tucker Carlson, I mean, when Tucker Carlson says, so you're telling me that it's okay for Israel to, you know, take over other Middle Eastern countries and because of their whole greater Israel project, and they believe that God, you know, pretty much promised them all this land. He's like, yeah, it'd be great if they take it all. And that's the U.S. ambassador to Israel saying that. And he got a lot of push. He got, you know, a lot of outrage from the Arab community, but that's really what he believes.
Hate Iran because of past mistakes or this or that. At least they're the ones actually fighting back and forming some sort of resistance. Yahya Sinwar said himself, the leader of the Palestinian resistance, he said, La la dam Iran. He said, Iran, they're the ones supplying weapons. They are the ones helping us out. He said that the Arab states, when we need them the most, they are absent. They have disappeared. Now Trump is publicly giving them credit for being good goys. Even we look back at Bosnia, we could see more history. Bosnia was supported by Iran. Iran has had a history of standing up and fighting for the resistance. They deserve credit. Are they perfect? Absolutely not. But neither is any regime. And they deserve real credit for standing up in the way that the Arab states should. If the GCC and the Arab states work together, they would be able to topple Israel. But a lot of them seem to have an inferiority complex, and they're afraid to stand up. It seems like it's Stockholm syndrome.
Well, it's the 100%. And it's the power axis of the United States and Israel that keeps these Arab countries from actually attacking Israel, destroying them.
Oh God, make sure to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Appreciate the support, by the way, but let's make sure we are liking the video by smashing that like button or double tapping the screen, depending on how you're watching, vertical or horizontal.
Like 73, the Yom Kippur War, the prime minister of Israel blackmailed the U.S. president with a nuke if he didn't get involved and help them. They were being destroyed by Syria and Egypt from the south and the Sinai, and Syria from the north. Israel was the closest it's ever been to not existing. And they called up the U.S. president and they said, if you don't give us military support right now, we are going to blast the faces off of these Arab countries. We're going to nuke them. And so that's kind of what they do to us today. If the United States pulled out of it, and this is the problem now, if the United States just pulled out of the Middle East, every country would destroy Israel. And then Israel is the only country there that has a nuke. So it would be a nuclear war. So we created a problem we cannot even control. We have a dog that we can't even put a leash around. And yeah, these Sunni countries are so cucked. It's disappointing. It's honestly the worst thing ever because I'm a Sunni and I wish I could say that my people are the ones fighting for freedom, fighting the bad guy. But
all right, guys. And I know a lot of people hear this and say, oh, Israel threatened the U.S. with a nuke. And I mean, yeah, that it's kind of true, actually. Yeah, so based on historical accounts and reports, during the 1973 Yom Kippur War, Israel did not directly threaten a U.S. president with a nuclear attack, but is believed to have engaged in nuclear signaling. Nuclear signaling, aka, hey, look, bro, if you don't help me, I'm signaling you that I'm gonna attack these guys with a nuke, and I'm attacking all of them with a nuke. And yeah, so to compel the U.S. to provide military aid, facing potential collapse, Israel alleged readied nuclear weapons to ensure America intervention, a scenario often referred to as the Samson option, aka if Israel's going to fall, they're just going to start letting nukes loose everywhere and taking everybody down with them. So let's see here. Yeah, when the Egyptian and Syrian forces overwhelmed Israeli defense in the early days of the 1973 war, Israeli officials reportedly prepared 13 atomic bombs. Oh shit. For deployment by aircraft and missiles. So AKA, they were pretty much telling us to our face, like, yo, if you don't get involved, we will start dropping nukes in the area. And yeah, Israel's had nukes for a while now. I know, a long time. But that's what they were pretty much telling us. It's like, yeah, you don't get involved, we'll drop nukes. And they've always been able to pull this off whenever we kind of are hesitant to get involved. They'll just hit us with the, okay, you don't want to get involved, we'll just start, nuking all over the place. And we're like, okay, bro, we'll see the weapons. Jeez, chill, man. But all right, let's get back to it.
It's not the case. And of course, they're to some degree controlled by Israel, the UAE being the main culprit. And, that's why, going back to the diaspora thing, I forgot to mention this to you. Patrick Bet-David says, Patrick Bet-David says, I'm America first. I'm a numbers guy. I'm America first. And then, but at the same time, he wants Iran to be toppled. And it's like, hey, it's oxymoronic. It can't exist at the same time. If you're for America, if you're America first, you know that this IRGC regime, no matter how much you hate the Ayatollah or the other secular side of the government, democratic side of the government, no matter how much you hate Iran and their government, if they're toppled, that region is cooked and America loses its the very essence of its power structure where we propped up to be today. So that's I did a whole video reacting to it and spazzing out.
But PBD indirectly called me out.
Been wrong.
He said he was afraid to call me out when he was making a video trying to discredit Professor Zhang. Mehdi Hassan did a major mistake. And yeah, I heard you call yourself Sunni, which and
here's the thing, the attacks on Professor Zhang, I mean, look, I get it. High school teacher, pretty much saying he's a professor as his YouTube moniker, because I guess that's what people started calling him. So he started calling himself Professor Zhang when actually he graduated from a pretty established school, but he is just a high school teacher. Now, what makes Professor Zhang so interesting is the fact that he predicted the Iran war down to a T. The only thing he was missing from his prediction was who was going to be VP, because in his prediction, it was supposed to be Nikki Haley, because we all know Nikki Haley was a real war hawk. So it made sense when he said that, oh, yeah, she's going to lead us into that war. Now, because he picked J.D. Vance, we kind of thought that was all, oh, that's not going to happen. The Iran war is not going to happen like Zhang said it was, but it did. Even without the VP being Nikki Haley, it still happened exactly how he said it was going to happen. And this would gain them notoriety. This would gain them that ear of the people, is because he was right. Down to the T, baby. Well, not down to the T, but off on, except outside of being off from who the vice president was going to be, he was right about how this war was going to pop off and what it was going to be about. And this is why a lot of people started listening to him, because he was right, where other people who's supposed to have more expertise than him in the field, who's been longer than him in the field, got it wrong.
I understand, and I think, but Mehdi Hassan, same thing. He keeps calling himself a leftist, a Democrat, or a liberal. I'm not trying to mischaracterize, but the reason he made that mistake and not putting Islam first and putting leftism first, he fell to that propaganda and calling Zhang an anti-Semite or whatever, saying that, a real professor, which is so stupid. And now PBD is loving that goy slap from him and giving Mehdi Hassan credit. Well done. You played into the enemy's hands. I think that we should follow Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He did not say he was Sunni. He did not say he was Shia, Hanafi. What did he say, Riyad? He said, you're Muslim. We call ourselves Muslims. I think it's better to, instead of creating these distinctions, I'm Sunni, I'm this, I'm Sufi, we're just Muslim. The same thing as the Iranians, where we might have disagreements about minor things, but ultimately we're just Muslim.
No, facts. In this time of how divisive the world is, or how separated everybody is, surely the best thing to say is you're a Muslim. But the reason why, sorry, I'm not going to do the theology pill here, but the reason why I push back on that is, one, I think an element of tribalism to some degree is not an issue so long as it doesn't supersede your religious beliefs, right? Obviously, if you're religious, that should come first, God first, whatever. And then whatever is tribalistically consistent with you, whether that's your nationalism, your religious sect, or whatever, should come second. And the reason why I always distinguish the fact that I'm a Sunni is because the Shia have been responsible for so many crimes against Sunnis, and they've worked with other groups or other proxy groups in the region.
Oh, Sean Lunatic Liberty. Oh, yo, bro. Yeah, I noticed that you're a member now. Hey, make sure to email me. So make sure to go to my main page and email me so I can send you the invite code for the Discord. Because remember, if you're a member, you go ahead and get in on the Discord only, or the members only Discord. You can get in there with Monty, Sid, and the rest of them.
that in tandem, along with Iran and the IRGC, have not only killed Sunnis, but made it their mission to do so. And Ayatollah has statements echoing that kind of mission. And so, look, now is not the time to talk about it. I'm just saying that's why I say I'm Sunni. At the end of the day, a Sunni right now, and I don't care what anybody tells me, should be supporting Iran, no doubt. And if you're trying to do this whole, they're Rafida, they're Shia, and we don't, no. Yeah, maybe they're an enemy to the Sunnis in times of peace where they have nothing else to worry about. But right now, at the end of the day, they claim to be Muslim. They follow the Kitab to some degree, and they're fighting against a greater foe. There's no doubt about that. Do they slander the Prophet's companions and his wives? 100%. And that's why I don't think that I ever can say, like, you're a Shia, but you're still allied with me. I'll shake a hand with a Shia, no problem. I don't have an issue with them. But the religious differences and what they believe differently in regards to the Prophet and successors and everything else in between, the Quran being unfinished and things like this, very problematic beliefs that I can't ally with. The same way, like all of these other guys, you're Orthodox, you're Catholic. I won't let it divide us in times of war. So right now, we're all Muslim and we all need to unite as one ummah. But I'll always kind of like make that distinguishment because, I mean, obviously I get it. Like,
I've held that position. I said the same thing. I can't ally on the battlefield with people that curse the companions, that curse Mother Aisha. I can't do it.
It's a big deal, bro. You know, that
a lot of them don't. I mean, I saw a tweet from Hamidi. Some people are saying it's Taqiyya, but he said himself that he does not curse the companions. He does not curse Aisha. I've heard a lot of Shias not say this. They said that they might disagree about the first caliph, but as long as they don't curse them, you are my ally. And I think that's more important. Yeah. Unity is extremely important right now. And again, you talked about some division from other political commentators. I think.
Well, I'm not a Muslim. Man, I'm not that much of a Christian either, but I probably lean more towards Christianity, if anything. But I don't believe in disrespecting of any religions. I do believe that religious divisions is retarded.